Hello, everybody. Jordan Gasly here. And yes, this is another top 10 list. Welcome back to the Gasly Toy Crypt. Listen, I know that there's a lot of videos going on about the top 10 or even the top 24 toys that people bought in the year 2024. And I thought I'd go ahead and toss in a top 10 list myself. So the rules that I put on myself were these were all figures that had to have come out and be released in 2024. I might cheat. I don't know. Stay tuned and watch the video. You'll see. It's my video. I can do what I want. So I have a top 10 list of figures that came out in 2024, and I do have a couple of honorable mentions that I would be remiss if I didn't mention them honorably. Let's go ahead and dive in, right? The first honorable mention I want to show you is this little guy right here. This is the Transformers Missing Link Optimus Prime. If you were not familiar with the Missing Link series, it is a reimagining of some of the Generation 1 Transformer toys, but updated with modern 2024, 2025 now, I guess, articulation. And this was a figure I just was not on my bingo card at all to just exist. And when I saw it, yeah, the price tag was a little hefty, but I actually never got a Generation 1 Optimus Prime whenever I was growing up. My first Optimus Prime was the Power Master Optimus Prime. So I never really got the joy of purchasing a Generation 1 Optimus. And I thought, you know what? Why cheat myself out of that experience? But this is one that I did want to go ahead and mention. He is a great pickup. He just barely skipped out of my top 10, and you'll see why as we go forward. So honorable mention number 1 is going to be Missing Link Optimus Prime. And moving on, honorable mention number 2 is going to be Unicron. This is the Studio Cell, not Unicron figure. And this is where I'm kind of cheating. This was actually a reissue. The figure initially came out, I believe, 2019, 2020, 2021, something like that. I don't know the exact year. And it was out of production for quite a while. And I think Studio Cell, maybe Zeta Toys, I'm not too certain. He was reissued with some upgraded shoulder wings right here. And when I saw him come in stock on Shozy, by the way, if you shop at showzstore.com, use code GASLY. I saw him come in stock at Shozy, and I thought, I'll never own the HasLab Unicron because the aftermarket is ridiculous on that. Like, it was a $500 toy at retail when you back the HasLab, and I think it goes anywhere between $1,000 to $1,300 at this point. And I was like, you know what? This guy is much cheaper. He is a little bit smaller. You do sacrifice about 10 inches of height, but what you sacrifice in height, I think you gain in a clean bot. So Unicron here makes my list, and this is the one I cheated on. Like I said, he was initially released in 2019 or 2020, but he was reissued in 2024 with the updates. So it's my list. I can do whatever I want, so it counts. So he's honorable mention. Now that we got those honorable mentions out of the way, let's just go ahead and dive in to the top 10, starting with number 10. And at number 10 is my favorite little grumpy Autobot, Gears. There's something about this toy that I just absolutely loved whenever I got it in hand. I never had an original Gears growing up, much like I never had an original Prime, but there was something about this mini-bot specifically that once I opened them up, the transformation was very intuitive. It was also a very fun transformation. It didn't take long, but it was just intricate enough to where you could have some fun with it. And I don't know, there was something about this guy that I just really liked. And he was a nice fidget transformer, like whenever I would just be sitting and watching television. So I ended up getting a lot of mileage out of this guy. And I know that the buck or the mold was reused for the Smallfoot in the GoBots 3-pack, or was it the 3-pack? Yeah, I think it was a 3-pack. And I don't know, like it just looks so good. He's animation accurate. He's got the grumpy face. I love him. I love him. So he comes in at number 10 just because I don't know. I think everybody's top 10 should have a grumpy boy like Gears. Moving on to number 9. I don't buy a lot of Star Wars figures these days. It really has to jump out at me or something from the original trilogy that makes me kind of take notice. And this year, we got a release of a deluxe Hammerhead Moma Nadan. So the Thorian figure from the Cantina scene in Cantina scene, Cantina scene in A New Hope. I I had very few original figures from the 70s and 80s growing up. They were mainly my brothers, and then they were bequeathed to me. But one of the ones that always stood out to me was the original Hammerhead figure. And whenever the Power of the Force 2 came out and they released the Hammerhead, he was one that I was always drawn to as well. And even last year, when, if you remember my top 10 list last year, they released a Doc Ondar figure from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, or from the character from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And I knew for a fact they were going to reuse this mold to make a Muma Nadan. And I'm very happy they did because this dude, I don't know. I think a big important thing about the Star Wars, specifically the Black Series, is whenever you can world build with a lot of the diversity of the species and alien creatures in the background, it's always a big plus. And this is exactly what this guy does, and I absolutely love him. So he makes number 9 on my list. Soaring in at number 8 is going to be the Marvel Legends Angel figure. This figure is really, I don't know. I was very, very surprised and very happy with this figure. The articulated wings uh, gives this figure a lot of life, I believe, a lot of character. Also, I'm a big Archangel fan, so, and I have the Archangel figure. I think it's only fitting that you have the pre-Archangel, so the Warren Worthington the third. I thought it was interesting that they went with his red costume as opposed to his blue costume. But I'm very curious to see um, if they'll release a blue costume or if they'll do some kind of Archangel version where he has his blue skin but with the angel wings, or any kind of combo in between. But the guys over at Marvel Legends have been killing it over the last couple of years, and with the new pinless bodies that they've been doing, uh, they've really outdone themselves, and I absolutely love it. So now that my 90s X-Men shelf is complete, I'm going to start putting together like a late 70s, early 80s X-Men shelf, and I think he is going to fit in quite well with it. Moving right along to number 7 and rising from the ashes is the Phoenix figure. The deluxe Marvel Legends figure came out probably around like August or September. And I'm going to be honest with you, this was not on my radar to get. I was slowly starting to switch over some of my X-Men to Mafex figures. And Phoenix is just a figure I didn't have. I have a Dark Phoenix figure, but I thought, well, Mafex announced their Phoenix figure. That'll be my stand-in for Phoenix. And shortly after that, Marvel Legends revealed that they were doing this beautiful deluxe Phoenix figure. And let me tell you, what really sold me, oh, there's a few things that really sold me, is the new female Buck that they have that came out with, I believe, the Warbird figure and even the Black Widow figure, if I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, go ahead and leave a comment. I can't keep track of a lot of them, but I do know that this shares a lot of uh, body shape with the Warbird action figure. But the big selling point for me is this absolute beautiful translucent plastic Phoenix base that you can stick her in to where it looks like she's flying. Jean Grey is my favorite X-Woman. I've always loved her, and the Phoenix Saga is one of my favorite stories of all time, if not my favorite X-Men story of all time. The Phoenix and the Dark Phoenix Saga. So I'm very, very happy to get this. And once I saw that this was coming out, I said Mafex who, and then I went with this. And I saved $50, so that's great. Number 7 is the Phoenix. Moving right along to number 6. Again, this is a figure that I didn't think would come out like at all. It wasn't on my bingo card, but when it was announced, I realized I absolutely had to have it. And that is the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection, Prince Adam and Cringer. So let's be honest. The whole reason that I bought this is to have a Cringer action figure. I absolutely love Cringer. I absolutely love Battle Cat. And I love the cowardly versus brave dynamic after he gets the power of Grayskull blasted at him. But just a hilariously cowardice kitty cat, giant kitty cat. But I think one of the other selling points that I didn't really notice at the time was the head swap on this Prince Adam. And if you give it a really close look-see, you will see that this is a head sculpt that mimics that old internet meme from 20 years ago, whenever they took somebody had taken some clips from the old Masters of the Universe cartoon and redid a very, very silly version of the Four Non-Blondes, What's Going On. What's Up, I think is the song. The song's called What's Up. You know what song I'm talking about. Either way, the fact that they added a head sculpt for that is I don't know, that was the icing on the cake for me. So number 6 is Prince Adam and Cringer, and I don't know, they're just cool little guys. Swooping in at number 5 is my favorite of the Dinobots, and it's Swoop. Yeah, I did that on purpose. Please don't change this video or turn this video off. Swoop, he is my favorite Dinobot. He's always been my favorite Dinobot. Hasbro has been doing a killer job releasing all of these Dinobots in the Studio Series 86 line as leader class bots, so the much larger, they scale well with the other stuff in the main line. And there's something about Swoop, just the fact that he turns into a pterodon, and he's the only one with a pop of blue. Everybody is red and silver and like that golden yellowish. But for some reason, Swoop has this nice, cool blue torso, and I think, to me, it just pops a little bit more than some of the other Dinobots. And man, I love this figure so much. Once again, the transformation is very intuitive. If you had the original G1 toy, you can pretty much figure this out. It's easy, it's fun, and I think I kind of want to get a little flight stand whenever he's in teardown mode, so he can just kind of dive bomb some Decepticons. Number 5 is Swoop. And heading right into number 4 is the Skeleton 2 Legion Builder from Four Horsemen Studios. I have been saying for years that I would absolutely love a just standard skeleton figure, just something that would go well in the background, or like a dungeon scene or something, or to build a skeleton army with. And there were some figures out there that were good, they were okay. I think the closest that came to this was the Four Horsemen Mythic Legions Skeleton Legion Builder 1, but that still had a lot of armor parts. You didn't really get a full skeleton out of it. So those sufficed until earlier this summer, whenever Four Horsemen Studios announced these guys. I jumped on these with a quickness, and they weren't very expensive. They were $26 a piece. I think now, if you find them secondhand, I think people charge almost twice that for them, if not more. But I was very fortunate. I was able to get 4 of these guys up front, and then I bought a second from my buddy Matt, 13Z Customs. But yeah, I can't sing the praises of these guys enough. They're fun. They have great articulation, and I don't know, like they have that very Harryhausen-esque look to them, and I absolutely love these things. Number 4, the Skeleton Legion Builder 2. Okay, here we are, breaking our way into the top 3. You ready? Sticking with the Four Horsemen theme, This was a Figure Obscura 2-pack that came out, I think, around May. And that is the Figure Obscura Anubis and Bastet figures. So these are the Egyptian deities. And something that I don't know if you know about me or not, but as long as I've wanted those skeleton Legion Builder figures, I have been wanting a figure line that was specific for mythological deities. And Figure Obscura started to just check all the boxes of things that I wanted. And I didn't even know that they were going to do something cool like that. So for a while, I've wanted Greek deities, Roman deities, Norse deities, and Egyptian deities. And these are the first two in a subline of Figure Obscura. I think they're just calling it Gods of Egypt, maybe. I could be wrong, but I absolutely love these figures. They look so good. I just wish I had the shelf space right now to display them. So I need to get more shelves to give them their proper due. But they are so good, and they come packed with accessories. There's tons of things. There's tons of like little diorama pieces, again, for world building, and I'm very excited to see what the next one or two Egyptian deities will be whenever Four Horsemen loops back around to doing some more of these fantastic and beautiful figures. So number 3 is the Anubis and the Bastet Figure Obscura. Is that cheating because it was 2 figures? I don't know. Again, it's my list. I can do what I want. So for number 2, I do have another 2 figures, and I contemplated going back and forth, and if I wanted to give each one of them a slot or if I wanted to put them together, and I just decided to put them together. This is something that I told myself I wouldn't dive into at all, just because I was so deep in collecting the main line of these figures that going third party was just something that I didn't think would be an option. However, Magic Square put out a couple of masterpiece scaled Transformers for 2 of the Combaticons, Brawl and Swindle. Of course, they can't be called that. So we have the Heavy Gunner for Brawl, and we have Munitioner for Swindle. I decided to put these 2 together. They are in the process of filling out their entire rank of the rest of the Combaticons. I'm not too sure who's coming next, but I think it will happen very soon. These 2 guys came out pretty close to one another. This guy came out in September, and I believe this guy was in hand in November. So hopefully, if we keep with that time frame, we'll have an entire Bruticus by summer. These figures are absolutely stunning. And as much as I love Swindle, he's my favorite Combaticon, I will have to say it is the Brawl that convinced me to go ahead and dive into the third party stuff. Specifically because I have never seen a masterpiece figure with full articulated fingers like this. That is so cool. And the articulation is there too. I can't for any reason knock this figure. Like, I can't believe that for the price point of these guys, which I believe they're about $98, $99 if you buy them from directly from Magic Square. These are for masterpiece Transformers, a combiner masterpiece Transformer at that is so affordable, I think, and the price point and just the articulation are what sold me on these guys. There are no die-cast metal pieces to them, and I think that keeps the cost down. And also, I think it keeps them a little bit lighter. There's something to be said about heft to a figure, but too much heft probably wouldn't be that great. But number 2 are my Magic Square Combaticons, the Not Brawl Heavy Gunner and the Not Swindle Munitioner. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to my number 1 figure that I purchased in 2024. Spoiler alert, it is a Transformer. 2024 was celebrating the 40th anniversary of Transformers. It is my favorite toy line. It has been my favorite toy line since I can remember. I've never known a life where Transformers didn't exist. I was born and raised on this cartoon, and whenever they announced this figure over the summer, I absolutely had to get it. And I knew it was going to shoot right up to the top of this list. And that is the Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. I love this guy. I had to fix his antenna. He looked a little weird. I know a lot of people didn't care for him being a commander class. I was more than okay with that. The fact that he comes with a larger trailer, he comes with a lot of the stuff that the G1 toy came with. He comes with roller. He comes with a lot of the stuff in the trailer. He comes with his little golden axe that he uses in episode 1 of the cartoon series. But I think all in all, this was such a great update over the Earthrise Optimus Prime, which was a fantastic Optimus Prime, to be fair. However, I always thought that, one, that figure was a little too much leg, and he was just a little shorter than he needed to be. This one, I think, gives Optimus that nice broad chest, the nice broad shoulders, those smokestacks that stick out right, or shoot out right above his shoulders. I don't know if I can pick anything about this figure that I don't like. I guess maybe I would have liked a little bit longer handle so he can hold his gun better. But aside from that, like, I really don't think I could have asked for a better Optimus Prime. I absolutely love this figure. It's so good. And it just, I don't know, like, whenever I got it, I couldn't put it down. I love it. And he is my de facto Optimus Prime. I would be hard pressed to say that Hasbro can outdo themselves on this Optimus Prime. It really is the definitive one for me. I if they can make a better one, go for it. But I think this is going to be the standard of Optimus for many years to come. I absolutely love this figure. I'm happy to have it. And God, it just looks so beautiful. He has a lot of shelf presence too. My number one figure of 2024 is Transformers Studio Series 86, Optimus Prime. All right, my friends, that is going to do it for the top 10 list. Do you have a top 10 list video? If you made a video, go ahead and link it in the comments below, because I would like to see your video as well. But if you don't have a video, go ahead and leave your top 10 list in the comments. That'd be great. I would like to see that too. I like to see the diversity in everybody's collection and everybody's top 10 list. So please, by all means, post away in the comments. Once again, Happy New Year. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up in 2025. We have Toylanta coming up in the very near future at the end of March, which I'm very much looking forward to. If you haven't heard, Toylanta is teaming up with PowerCon, and they're kind of merging into like this mega convention. And I'm very excited to see what comes of it, because I've always wanted to go to a PowerCon. I just haven't been able to make it up to the Columbus, Ohio area to check out a PowerCon. So I'm very fortunate that Toylanta, which is my hometown show, is teaming up with PowerCon, and PowerCon is coming down here for that. So stay tuned for more information on Toylanta and its team up with PowerCon. We are going to go on so many toy hunts this year. We're going to go and check out so many toy shows, but most importantly, we're going to hang out with our friends and we're going to have some fun, and we might shop for some plastic while we're at it. Before I go, I just want to say once again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You used your time to watch this video. You could have done anything else with that time. You could have watched any other video, but you chose to use your time to watch this video, and that means the world to me. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. But that's going to do it. We'll catch you in the next video. We'll see you real soon. Have a spooky 2025.